One of those dudes with a PhD of medical science or sports science from Harvard or wherever is going to disagree. Well, I'm going to tell you, I will take that Pepsi challenge. Bullshit. Whittaker is dynamic. Whittaker can stop takedowns. He can wrestle. He's got jiu-jitsu. He's got a gas tank. He's got a chin. Even though Drick has dropped him, he's generally shown a really, really good chin.
Yeah, he's.
I don't want to.
I'm a real big believer in Khamzat. I really am. I think the guy's incredible. But if we're just being critical, first round, I think Khamzat can beat anybody across any weight class. I don't give a shit who it is. Anybody in the world he can beat in the first round. We start getting into second, third, fourth, fifth. I mean, the Gilbert Burns fight is kind of a perfect example. If that fight goes another 2 rounds.
A better example is the Kamaru Usman fight.
Yeah, first round, monster. Absolutely.
You don't see people doing to Kamaru Usman what Khamzat did.
No.
Usman's built his career on being a ridiculous wrestler.
Yeah.
He got tossed around like a rag doll in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
But he had the toughness, the durability, and all the experience to get out of it and to round 2, and he kind of closed the gap again a little bit. But in round 3, he was winning the fight.
Right. And that was on very short notice.
Very short notice. Khamzat was exhausted.
Yeah. So, and Whittaker won't get tired. So
Whittaker won't get tired.
I think that's my sticking point. If he can do lots of big damage early in the first round, second round, and kind of compromise Whittaker early, then I think he can cruise. But we talked about this a couple weeks ago. If he paces himself early, now he's not the Khamzat that we're used to. He's not as effective. So I don't know. I hate to say it. I lean Whittaker.
Yeah. And here's a point as well, because it's 5 rounds, and people will say, "Oh, well, you just train differently for 5 rounds." Yeah, you're right. You do. When you've got advanced notice of 5 rounds, of course you structure your training camp differently. But I'll say this: when I was in really, really good shape for 3 rounds, I could. If they said to me, "Right, how do you feel about doing another 2 rounds?" I'd say, "Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
do 3 rounds, do 5 rounds. I'll do 6 rounds. If you're in shape properly, you can do it, right?" And anyone that's going to sit here and go, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about," yeah, I do. I do, and I know from experience, and it looks like you're going to agree.
Yeah, I got 7 or 8 or 9 main events in the UFC, 5 rounds. Like, my training camp looked exactly the same. So, like, you hear fans say, "Oh, well, he didn't prepare for 5 rounds." Yeah, nobody does. That's not how this works. Like, maybe they stretch out your conditioning session here and there a little bit, or when you're sparring, they add a couple more rounds. But, like, you're in the same condition. If you really pay attention to your favorite fighters that have fought regular fights and the main events, the biggest difference is going to be their pace. That's just how you got to pace yourself a little bit. Like, when maybe you would go longer combinations and really push the wrestling, like, you got to back off of it a little bit. You see guys giving up takedowns a little more, like they don't fight for they get in on the fence and they're on a double leg and they're fighting. There's real tight scramble and you're burning your arms. You'll see guys back out of that a little bit and say, "All right, let's reset. I don't want to burn my arms out on this takedown." You'll see the scrambles. You see 2 guys disengage more often because neither one of them want to gas himself on a scramble if there's still 2 additional rounds. Like, that's the difference. You just pace yourself in the small areas that people at home don't even notice.
No, exactly. And I just, like a total narcissist, just had to Google myself, because I actually don't know how many main events. 15.
15.
Quite a few. 15,
that's huge.
15.
That's a
quite
lot.
A few goals. And here's the thing: when you do 3 rounds, and you're in shape and you're training, when you're done, you go, "Now, coach, let's go. Let's do another couple of rounds. I'm feeling good."
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So You're right. It's a really good excuse for people when they go, "Well, it was 5 rounds on short notice." Yeah. It shouldn't be 5 rounds on short notice. And then they say, "Well, there's a difference between 3 rounds and 5 rounds." Yeah, there is. But if you're in shape, like a mixed martial artist of the highest level should be, and I'm sure some little nerd that went to science that has a bloody clipboard and a notebook and a white coat on and some pens in his little bit here.
and a
right?
pocket protector. Definitely
and a
have a pocket.
stopwatch. Beep, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of those dudes with a PhD of medical science or fucking sports science from Harvard or wherever is going to disagree. Well, I'm going to tell you, I will take that Pepsi challenge. Bullshit. If you do it old school, because you know what? A lot of like this new, and don't get me wrong, sports science is fantastic. Of course it is, and there's a place, and that's why human beings as a race, we're breaking records all the time. We're learning about the human body. We're getting bigger, stronger, more athletic in general. And then, of course, there is. But there's also real value to old school values and old school training methods. You know what I'm saying? Like Jason
100%.
Perillo is as old school as they get, right? And all that new fandangled bullshit, you know what I mean? He's like, no, this is what you do. You know what I'm saying? And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. It was great. I was working with a strength and conditioning coach. And he said, for this camp, Michael, I don't want you to do much running. You know, Jason's background is from the boxing world.
So lots of running.
Lots of running. And I said, yeah, so my coach doesn't want me doing much running for this one. And he goes, yeah. You know why? Because running's free. Because running's free.
You're like, oh. Yeah.
They can't charge you $250 an hour to come into their little facility, you know what I mean, to get him ready for a fight and go, time.
Mark Montoya always says this. Do you know how? Because, you know, you get these younger guys say, I got to add this and I got to do this and I got to add all this other new fancy ass shit. And he'll say, you know how you get better at fighting longer? And they'll say, how? And he'll say, when you're in the gym, we just fight for longer. That's how we do it. So we just
try harder.
Yeah, try harder.
Try harder. When you're on the bag, punch it harder with a little more frequency. People always say, oh, what was your secret? Because I was known for cardio. Work my ass off.
Yeah, I just tried really hard.
Tried hard, you know, like it mattered to me.
Yeah.
If it matters to you, anything in life, you're going to, if it truly matters to you, you know, you're going to give it your best. Does it matter? Does it matter? Yeah, if it does.
And if it doesn't, you're not going to try that hard. It
stops the body from kind of creating the smells, okay? It was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. It's baking soda free, it's paraben free, it's pH balanced, and as I said, clinically proven to control odor better than shower or soap alone. And right now, Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like body wash or deodorant wipes, and you get free shipping. And as always, a treat for you guys, new customers get $5 off a Mando Starter Pack when they go to shopmando.com and they use the code Bisping. That equates to about 40% off when you go to shopmando.com and you use the code Bisping.